For those of you joining us on Facebook or hanging out on the main feed, I am excited to introduce our next speaker. Kelli, are you there?
Hello.
Hey,
Yes,
Kelli.
I'm here.
Amazing. So Kelli is also a senior at Boise State. She's a good friend of mine, and she is originally from Southern California. She has joined us today to share her Boise State story. So take it away, Kelli.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Sophie. So like she said, my name is Kelli, and thank you so much for joining us today. We wish we were on campus, but we're still so excited that we get to connect with you virtually and share more about Boise State and our experiences here. Like Sophie said, I'm a senior. I'm studying criminal justice with a minor in psychology, and I grew up in a tiny little town north of Los Angeles called Acton. And I loved that little town and all 90 kids in my graduating class. But as you can imagine, once senior year hit, I was ready for a little bit more. I really had no idea where I even wanted to apply for school. I had a list of criteria though. So I knew I wanted to go out of state, but not too far. I wanted all 4 seasons, and I wanted a football team, that athletic program. So after lots of Google searches, the one that caught my eye the most was the one with the blue field. So I applied to Boise State and a few other colleges, but Boise State, for some reason, stayed at the forefront of my mind without even having visited or knowing a single person in Boise or in Idaho in general. So I decided to attend a showcase in California to kind of decide if this was where I wanted to go for sure. And I got accepted that November, a little bit after my showcase. And I remember I was so excited to finally say, like, I'm going to Boise State. And then my friends were confused as to why I was going to school in Idaho. And so it wasn't actually until March of my senior year that I even visited Boise State. One weekend, my parents and I packed up the car and just drove 12 and a half hours straight to Boise. Funny enough, I never went on a true campus tour. My parents and I just walked around campus on a Saturday. Not much was going on. No classes were in session, but I remember going into the Starbucks at the library on campus, and the barista spelled my name right. I spell it with an I, so my mom said right away, that's a sign you have to go to Boise State. We left the library, walked across the river, and right across the river on campus is a zoo, so you can see some giraffe heads poking out. This being my mom's favorite animal was her second sign that I needed to go to Boise State. But really, all silly signs aside, something about Boise in general just drew me in immediately. I've never been in a city where everyone is so friendly and people always have a smile on their face. And truly, I felt that Boise had the perfect mix of everything I was looking for. You know, a beautiful downtown area, only a 10-minute walk from campus, Bogus Basin Ski Resort, which is only about 50 minutes away, the foothills for some hiking, Lucky Peak Lake, only 20 minutes from campus, a good place to camp and have bonfires. So I'm not exactly sure what it was. I think a little bit of everything, but for some reason, I just kind of felt right at home. So after that quick little weekend trip, I was sold and knew I wanted to spend the next 4 years at Boise State. Being a senior now in my last few weeks is definitely bittersweet. Looking back on the past 4 years, I really can't believe how many opportunities I've had because I chose to go to Boise State, the people I've met, and how much I've grown as an individual. Coming from a really small town and going to a pretty large university can be intimidating. And I remember how nervous I was that I wasn't going to find my place or my people. I had grown up with the same best friends pretty much since kindergarten, so I never really had to step out of my comfort zone in that aspect. And for all you students, I said it in the panel earlier, but I will say it again, get involved, whether it's through Greek life, playing intramurals, a club related to your major. Getting involved is truly so important. So one of the first things I did, which honestly I never thought I would do, was go through sorority recruitment. Joining Alpha Chi Omega truly gave me an instant connection to so many opportunities and people within the Boise State community and Boise, the city of Boise as a whole. While sorority life definitely fills up your social calendar, it is so much more than that. It's been filled with leadership opportunities and philanthropy events. I've been able to serve on my sorority's executive board, giving me the experience of attending a conference in Indianapolis. I served as a row gamma, helping girls going through recruitment, and my sorority specifically serves to raise awareness about domestic violence. So we work with the Women's and Children's Alliance in downtown Boise, raising awareness on campus and throughout the community, hosting different events. Being a part of this sorority is something that has truly impacted me and helped me find a passion for leadership as well as helping others. So one of my favorite college memories will always be getting to attend an alternative spring break in Jamaica, spring break of my sophomore year. So I went with 20 other Boise State students and 2 faculty members, and we traveled to Negril and Treasure Beach, where we worked on reconstruction projects at schools, but also got to go ziplining and hang out at the beach. And this was not only a great experience, like a way to experience another culture, but also to be able to give back to others, as well as meet more people at Boise State and really decide that I wanted to get more involved on campus. So this trip kind of showed me that I wasn't getting everything out of my college experience yet. It's definitely what you put into it, and I realized that I wanted to put in a little more. So my sophomore year, I worked as a Bronco ambassador, which is a volunteer tour guide position where I was able to represent the university with about 50 other Boise State students. And this was a really great chance to get my first experience working in a large group setting, but also getting to show my Bronco spirit to prospective students. And after doing this for a year, I applied for a position overseeing the program. So I worked as group visit coordinator in the admissions office, which was an amazing opportunity in a leadership sense, learning about my own leadership styles, overseeing 50 college students who are my peers. Definitely was a challenge, but it helped me also make more connections on campus. And halfway through my junior year, my boss, who you can see here, Megan, encouraged me to apply for a summer job working as an orientation leader, where I was able to serve incoming students in their transition to college. And this summer in Boise was the most incredible summer I could have ever asked for. Each program, I led about 30 students, teaching them about student life, different tips and tricks, but also helping them enroll in classes, and also being able to serve as a mentor and friendly face once school started. I still work in the admissions office now as a student recruitment specialist, and these on-campus jobs have taught me a lot about working with a team, but also being a leader, like I said before. The friendships I've made, though, in these roles, the faculty members who I've been able to look to as mentors, are truly some of the most important relationships that I know will stick with me, and definitely part of my intricate college experience. And Boise State has so many opportunities to grow for students as well as professionals. So taking classes, I've developed learning skills that have benefited my future. I've been able to kind of decide what I want to do. So I was able to serve as an intern with a pre-sentence investigator for the Idaho Department of Corrections last spring. And then this spring, I was able to work with Ada County Juvenile Probation and decided after graduation to hopefully pursue a job working with juveniles. So needless to say, Boise State has given me more than I ever could have imagined in a college experience. And as much as I wish my senior year was ending differently and never had to end, I'm still grateful beyond words for the past 4 years that I've had here. I couldn't imagine attending any other university besides Boise State. So whether it's country concerts in the foothills, camping with friends, or Saturdays at the farmer's market, Boise has completely stolen my heart, and Idaho has become a place that I am so proud to call home, and I know that you all can have the same experience as well. Thanks for joining me.
Kelly, if you have a chance, I think we actually do have some questions. Do you mind answering a couple live here?
Of course.
Awesome. So once again, I'm going to ask Kelly a few questions, but if you have some more, we have a couple of minutes here, so feel free to use the Q&A section down at the bottom and for your chance to have some of those questions asked live. So Kelly, first question, are you a part of Greek life? What was that experience like? Once again, I know we have that session coming up a little bit later on, so we encourage you to stick around to hear a full session on Greek life. But Kelly, share your experience if you'd like.
Yeah, definitely recommend attending that session. I know that Greek life was not something that I knew a ton about before coming to Boise State, but I'm so glad I did it. It was really a way to get involved and meet more people, and also, kind of see what I wanted to do throughout my college experience. A lot of people introduced me to different opportunities on campus. I got to go to Indianapolis for a conference, so a great leadership opportunity, as well as meeting other students.
Awesome. From that same student, we have a question. Did you live on campus, off campus? If you did ever live off campus, how close were you? What was that like?
Yeah, so I lived on campus my freshman year. I lived in Towers Hall and loved it. And then my sophomore year, I moved off campus. So the past 3 years, I've lived off campus, but I've lived close enough to campus. So I walk about 10 minutes to get to work, to get to class. So there's a lot of housing around Boise State that's pretty central, which is very nice.
Awesome. I know I can relate to this question because this was one I had myself. Where do students go shopping for clothes or household goods? If you're not familiar with Boise, where is that? Where do you go?
Yeah. So Albertsons is super close. So I would say for groceries and different household items, it's, a quick little 15-minute walk to Albertsons. And downtown is so close. So Trader Joe's, there's restaurants down there. If you want to go to the mall is about a 10-15-minute drive away. So if you have a friend who has a car, that's perfect. Or you can get on the city bus for free and go there as well if you don't have a car.
You mentioned you're from out of state. Do you have to bus to the airport? How long of a commute is it to get to the airport? What
Yeah.
has that experience been like?
It's about 10 minutes away from campus, so very, very nice. I have Ubered to the airport before. I've had friends take me. I know my freshman year when I didn't know a ton of people who had a car, I posted it on my sorority Facebook page to see if anyone could take me. So very close, very easy to get there.
And I relate to this question that just came in as an out-of-state student myself, but did you get homesick? What was that like?
Yeah, definitely got homesick. For me, it kind of hit my sophomore year, which is a little different. I think sometimes people get homesick right away. My freshman year was so exciting, and you're meeting new people, doing a ton new things. So it didn't really hit until sophomore year I came back. But I think what helped me is finding my own community and my own family at Boise State, just getting involved. And anytime I was feeling sad, I could reach out to other people in my sorority or my coworkers or faculty on campus. So I was definitely homesick for a little bit, but there's so much support on campus that it was never anything that I, struggled with alone. And there's so many people in that same boat that you can reach out to.
Awesome. And just to kind of wrap it up on that same note, how often did you find yourself going home? How were the flight deals and prices?
Yeah, I went home at least every Thanksgiving break because we get a week, Christmas break for the 2 weeks that we get, as well as for spring break. I went home my freshman year at least. So, it was a little expensive to go home, but if you plan far enough in advance, then it's definitely doable. And I've driven home a couple times, so definitely doable. I enjoyed going home. For me, it was close enough to where I could hop on a quick flight and go home for a weekend if I wanted to, which is really nice.
Well, thank you, Kelli, and thank you for sharing your story. I know stories like these, warm me up and make me so excited to have events like Virtual Bronco Day. So thank you, Kelli.